Hello, this is FG back with EU4, continuing on with our Shadowdreamer campaign. Last episode we conquered a whole bunch of stuff, fought a coalition war, and now we are going in against Tartakar to try and hopefully defeat them. Along with us we have the Lake Federation, which I am hoping deals with Grombar, because that is primarily what I need them to do. Alright. And now we can come down and do the Fires of War. Not every orc needs to fight, but every orc must serve. Each bullet fired must first be cast. Every enemy bayonet can only be turned aside by armor made by orcish hands. We do not yet live in the prophesied age of peace and leisure. We are blessed, instead, to earn it for our descendants. An orc with a hammer is as true a servant to a dream as an orc with a gun. Alright, so we go from 3 to what? 15% goods produced. 407 and 385. Extra 11,000. And like 30 extra ducats. We'll go ahead and look for an omen. Good. Got a good omen. Let's go meet them. Welcome. We're converting the dwarves, mostly just for, so we get a bunch of church power, really. All of these can come off. Yeah. You know what? Let's go to states, edicts. Shouldn't need the edicts in the east anymore. Hopefully we won't ever have to fight over here. This army can just stay. So where's that tunnel? Where'd I build that tunnel? Alright. Whatever. Yeah, we're gonna take tech. Because we need it. Okay, that one we can take. Let's do Belief in Unity. That makes sure that our, what's it called? Our religious unity stays up, and also lets us accept more goblins. Rust Road. Skin Burner. I'll do Rust Road. And I like accepting the Haramari because I feel like we're a relatively racially tolerant tag. Despite, you know, genociding the dwarves, but what does the Haramari look like over here? They're fine. There's another siege done. Alright. Right here. Yeah, I'll upgrade Aldolulum. Fight the Council League, which kind of sucks. Yes, I don't want to do that, certainly, and then that will let me get to deal with Kugildir. Actually head to there so we can try and siege down the capital. Shadows in the night, and then yeah. Send out the scouts, get the loot. Wandering Ettins, alright. Excellent. Do that. Orcs in right there. And we want the extra professionalism. Are we behind on Diplo? He has admin, staff, military. Guess construction cost. And then we can build a couple of those. Few more manufactories. Actually, instead of that, we can take this, and then I want that province. Now I have two things that I'm thinking about. One is I forced Grombar to break their alliance with Tartacar so I can fight them separately. However, another idea is simply just to piece Grombar out so I get the short truce timer, and then I take provinces from Tartacar, and then I invade Grombar for all of these provinces, which would draw Tartacar back into the war, and would give me the 5-year truce timer. So those are currently my two thoughts. Oh. And for Salah Faglorn. That's what I thought. You want the Tolerance of True Faith. Okay. Grombar should be willing to peace out fairly soon. Yeah, this one's terrible. This one's worse than this guy. Okay. I am gonna peace out Grombar. Peace out. Them, I will actually force them to get rid of their treaty, because it's more annoying than anything to deal with. Did it appear in Gore Ozenbrung already? Yes, it has. I will take that. Don't have too much else to do with it. That also lets us do that. Alright, Salah Faglorn. And give me your cash. Let's go. Alright, and then we take that. Yeah, we do have that sieged. Okay. Rusting knowledge. Tech cost. Production efficiency. Alright. Also, funnily enough, this is the Jad of Mengi formable. Who are they a vassal of? You can kind of tell from the traditions, but yeah, that is the formable for the Mengi. Which is pretty cool. There's a few other Jad formables. I think it's one of the hobbies of the devs is just add Jad formables. Or there shouldn't be Jad formables. Stockpile level 14. Yeah, stability and the mana regeneration, obviously. That. Alright. Storming outwards from Hull Yorkat has been extremely profitable. Everywhere we go, the Drogmaw find another vein of viable minerals for the Dream to bless, and our troops have never had to go without their now iconic mithril equipment. Trying to hold these in the Crusades industry will help guarantee that reality into the future. Magical infrastructure. We're gonna see if we can embrace manufactories and get both bonuses. Yeah, and then we're gonna have to fight the Counts League. And then we're also gonna co-belligerate Grombar. Actually, we'll fight Grombar and co-belligerate Council League. So we can grab the rest of those provinces from them. Alright. Got that done. Alright, do we have a truce with Abdal Woodlam? Yes. Those guys can drill. These two armies are good. We can go back to getting them as an expedition. Expedition menu. Overrod 53. Yeah, I'll do type passage. Organize. 10 morale. Set 200 crowns is the party share. Here, expedition, start preparation, send manpower, 10,000 men. Alright. How close are we to being able to have manufactories? Just need to wait a few months. How about Virgil Cosnan? Yeah, we can go deal with that real quick. Or majority purge. Hurrah. Okay. These guys can stay. These guys can drill. These guys can also drill. That one. Alright. Oh yeah, that's something we should do. Encourage development here. Starfort. 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 Alright. Alright, the RLN. Just get out. Oh. Give me a little cash to have. Shimmermere. Fill. Good riddance. And then we will embrace it. Nation of Mages. Excellent. Yeah, I'll do the Hobgoblin. Sure, whatever. Bar. PR, number 1 GP. Let's go. These, yeah, those have max level forts. Siege experts, let's go. Our truce is up in not too long. Build spy network here. Here. Is trade efficiency undergrowth goblin. Also take that off. A little bit of organization loss is fine. With them is up in 56. With them is up in 55. Okay. We cannot quite field another army yet. Actually get these two back to drilling for at least a few months. It's up to 34. Or majority flees, excellent. Clearance. Loot the bodies, let's go. Eventually, I'm probably going to move my trading city up to Tartakar. Or Amhildir. Those as well. Guns in the deep. Excellent. Slaves, okay. Alright. I want is like all of this, pretty much. Alright, and now we can do the Last Crusade. A howling, roaring, snarling orc carrying 2 axes and wearing only a loincloth stomped down the old dwarven road, his chanting a traditional orcish song set to the beat of the mechanical lockstep march of the column of soldiers marching in the parade behind him. The assembled crowd cheered for the regiment's iconic mascot. Such a display is far from a mark of shame. If not for those difficult times of tribal warfare, we never would have come to the age we enjoy today. Alright. And we will take that. Send an army here, and then we want to send one army up north. Excellent. Magnates 1. Actually, let me try and knock Kartakar out of the war first. Additionally, we want to, of course, do Shock and Awe, and then Illusion, Shadows in the Night. Goblin communities loyal to our cause have begun developing an assortment of gizmos, doohickeys, and thingamajigs they claim could be as valuable as the Crusade as our mithril, but that's insane, bordering on unbelievable. Show them in. They call it the next step in dream forging, Great Dreamer. The officer gestured to the table full of gadgets after removing the cloth that covered them. A few had obvious purposes: a brace for an arm that could hold another gizmo, or strengthen the arm overall, a pair of boots with wings on the side. Yet most of these objects were utterly unfamiliar to the Great Dreamer. After a long conversation with the artificers who'd brought these inventions to the Drogmal's attention, he at least understood what most of them did, and the variety and specialty was more the point than any one item's particular value. Fine, about that. Right. Yeah, do that. Also, I forgot to do war. Win this battle. No. They did not enjoy that battle, though. I'll tell you what. Alright, so for Tartakar, get out of this, making them... that... Amethyst to full Oz Krakazol. Alright. That's, and now we are back caught up in Diplotech. Alright. Finally got rid of them. So, from the Council League, I want to kick them out of this. Also, annul their treaties with Grombar. Shouldn't be too hard. Do they want... They don't want any of the same provinces we want. Starts. Alright. What did we clear for? Anvil's Fracture. Where's Anvil's Fracture? Yeah, alright. Elven Magi. Okay, yeah, we're fine with elves. Council League. Still do not want out. Okay. Go sit on their capital then. Who died? We'll go with all tower cost. Okay, and let me take... Construction time is also cool. honestly cannot have many men left. They don't. Alright, what do you want me to full core? Good. It's close enough to being done. Close enough to being done. Bunch of development. Here, someone there. I can march south. Do we have the Dwarven Purge CB? Yeah, we do. That way. Okay. Yeah, here. They need to come this way. Inheritance. Do that for the Prophet's Vision. That will finish off my wars with that. I'll go this way instead. Corruption, more loot still. Finance expensive research. And then here, do that. Siege that down. Yeah, of course. How many men have they lost? A lot. Alright. Get those cores a-going. This way. Alright. More development. And they need to deal with all of these rebels. Kept my eyes off of this war for a little bit too long. Bombard them on that core, and then we want to throw a few fireballs at it. Misplaced priorities. Wait. Oh, I gotta do cracker trim for. Never mind. Okay, so we have that one, that. What is this? I'll do it anyways. Great Forge. Alright. And I will go ahead and just shake the earth so we can try and... That's everywhere. Cleanse the feral goblins. And for the eyes. Down the giant bats. That's above, take aim. Alright. Magma below. Yeah, we like the ogres, we like virgin dwarves. Start, and then back out. Alright, where was the other one that I care about a little bit more? Affiliate salaries, yeah, pay it. Triumph of the North. Alright, got that dealt with. Get those cores up. And over here we can get all of these. That's the last that I need. Earth. Misplaced priorities. Mausoleum, which... Alright. Get that. Get that. Okay. Then we want to make sure that nobody has any funny ideas. Truce with Tartakar is up in a few months. All of these guys can get together right here. Inventory purge. think I probably only need 2 armies to deal with them. Just need to deal with that. Right there. So we will go with deal here. Yep, just throw more money after the problem. Expeditionary party. Probably build fort there. That would make sense. Do further tests on the blood samples. This is their capital. It's old. Go ahead and do that. Alright. Good. Slide a bit more. Alright. Yep. Siege is fine. Let's do Dragon's Tongue. Purple turrets. Alright. Spark drive rifles. All the ancestors. Okay. Alright, super shock damage. I want is gonna be something a little bit like that. Yeah, looks good to me. Salafaglarn. Here's that alliance. A little bit of money. Going to a good cause. Good, fine. Rodents. These guys are gonna head back to Mithratum so they can drill. Excellent. More idiots for me to slaughter. Going over to Recheria. You can take Diplo attack. There's our Commandant. Sure, actually. Will we get enough? Yeah, we should get enough kobolds to be able to accept that culture. That treaty with Tarkar. Not the Green Tide. We don't care about Dookan. Just want the mountains. Yeah, we'll take that. The Broken Crown. Excellent. Alright. Now... And this army can get here. There. Alright, that next, so you can get better cannons. While ago. Upgrade the rails. Workshop 9. The boiler room. Boiler room, fourth try. Alright. Machine room, excellent. Arming up 12,000 of my finest soldiers. Pump has been restored. I'd actually very much like that government stuff. Expedition menu. Second group, organize the expedition. think I've typically had trouble figuring out how this one goes. Alright, so I'm going to take a save here and make sure that that goes correctly. Power restored. Technology, of course. Extinguish the fire, good. Undercamp. Create the door of our rails. Smithy. Alright. Gotta purge those dwarves faster. Explore the barracks. This is it, men. Final battle. Alright. Hardships. Pay them in full and send them back out. Sure, take that. Yeah, not all of the expeditions are created equally. Some are much cooler than others, like the magic one. Liked that one a lot. Had a bit of a story. Okay. We have a Dwarven Purge CV on them. We do not. How much would it be to take everything they have? Over 100, so... We have... about truce with Grombar. A few years. Okay, Grombar would come in. Alright, now it is time to fix our trade. Okay, so here, don't need recall from here. Transfer here. And then we want to definitely transfer to West Holds. Eureka. Alright. Magic missile deployer. Okay. Hey, Council League. Economy embargo on them. Should help a little bit. Yeah, that's the big problem, is that have it. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna do economic. Oh yeah, that was something I wanted to do. Dark scales. Kind of sounds like a slur, but it's what they call themselves. Yeah, we're ready for combat with 36. Then we will get rid of this one, and we'll go 38, 22, that's 30, right? Build 1, 2 of them, like that. Ooh, actually a decent general. Still have 2 war wizards. Who else are we at war with? Blade marches in the south. Okay, these guys get that, and they can head here. Then we would like to come here and do this, and then Shadows in the Night. This is one of my war wizards, so I do want him leading the charge. I know it's a costly embargo. I do not care. Go to that alliance. And already purged. Really salaries, whatever. Actually go with Cultural Safe Haven. We're nice people, as long as you're not a dwarf. Okay, yeah, this is one of my war wizards. Excellent. I can't keep taking these casualties. Alright, use the sword. Alright. I can come out here and support them. They can go this way as well, and then we want the Dookan's Guidance War. Last one. Okay, so... Alright, who is willing to get out of this? Nobody. It's unfortunate. Alright, so... Rombar, let's have a little chat. Willing to take the peace. They are brave. I'm actually probably fine with that. The Agate of Azra. A gate left open. Alright. These guys can march all the way down there. These guys can march here. Static missile deployer. Alright, give me something a little bit more flavorful. Key capture, fine. Those. All of these need to be old Dookan, which they will be. Majority perk. Okay, so for Orkilavar, not something. How many armies would I need to do this? I think 3 would be good, or 4 would be good. Alright. Then they can deal with this. And they can deal with that. Mostly everyone's gonna be happy. Alright, Dwarven Purge, let's go. And then I would also like to... Here... Okay, we still got that going. Let me get one of my war wizards over here. Can I get a second? I can get a second one. Got a general like that. I will come here and do... Nope. Sieges, alright. Who died? You know what? We're gonna go outside. Fuck the orc, or fuck the dwarves. Transfer trade. Alright, excellent. Transfer 36 to Westholds. Alright. Make sure that we grab everything we can off of them. Did we fix the rot? No. Yeah, we did. Alright. Really wish that lasted longer than 2 months. That. Yeah, that should pretty much let us control over there. Dalton gear. Thank you. Please go away. Alright. The Diamond of Ard Wordstone. Mirror, mirror. Alright. That is the very last of our conquests complete. Oh, fun. Heart of the mountain. Alright. Dwarven Forge found. Good. Fine. Yep. You capture. Yep. Actually, we'll use that, and then this as well. Mission of protection, balanced mission, mission to civilize. I don't need that many missionaries anymore, that should help out. And then we want domestic trade power. Yeah. Old Mare has ended. Here and do development. Stock exchange. I will actually let them have that. We need our 50 admin. What does Kildare have in it? Well, a little bit of development. What's the capital look like? Maximum level trophy pile. Pretty good. Yeah, we have a lot of money. We also... Where is it? Let's pull the ledger up. Trade goods, strategic goods. They also control basically the entire world's supply of mithril. And serpent plume and fungi, and like a large portion of the glass. Which is great. Right, where else can I build these? Thunder camp in Kugyo Deer. Okay, so we are doing that. I'll also transfer from here. King's Rock. Serpent's Creed. Do you have any buttons to click? Nope. The last of the dwarves are being driven from the Serpent's Reach. Orcish industry supplants their rot. A new generation of orcs will live and dream in this place, safe and sound behind the thick walls and true-hearted guards. Yeah, those will be... Hooray! Yeah, I can do that. Good. Do that. Alright, that's going down pretty quick. Merchant, take the cash. That. Alright. That's the last one that can be built over in that area. Cruise with Grombar will be up just a few years. Who is Crackaderm War? Only Grombar. We get an omen. Yes, we can. Have advanced rail push everywhere. Please, good. Sorry, I don't really have anything to say at this point. Campaign's pretty much over. We just have a few more dwarves to purge. Also, let me improve relations with them, and just for fun, we will send them... let's just say... Mithril Vault. Alright. Infrastructure. Alright, what can we get next? Axe shot skirmishers. Looks good. Indentured hook hordes. We have 3 more wars to fight. Alright. Okay. Time to declare war on Grombar for whatever. Yep, that's my war wizards. Put a fort there? Guess I did that. And we want to come right here. War. Then do shock and awe. Two armies. I'll send 3 armies to the east. I want to tell you how to fight your wars, but you should probably put a general on. Might help you win a battle. Minotaurs. That's cool. Yeah, I'll set one up near that here. Right. Yeah, this army, they might win this. Yeah, they didn't send reinforcements in, so we did. Took it back. Casualties. We're taking a lot to attrition. Okay. The Jade Mines are secured. The dream has brought us to the end of the Serpent Spide. As we bring this place into the fold, it will come to fuel the conquest of the other side. The crusade is far from over. Okay, free manpower. Yeah, take trade. So, what I want is gonna be all of these provinces. Yes. Which we are close to having. Okay. Come on, we'll do that for. Yeah, Ground Bar's having a bad time. I'm actually gonna keep going. I've appreciated the help that our lovely ally in the Lake Federation has given us, so we're gonna return the favor. They deserve it. They've been so helpful. I'm not going to say we couldn't have done it without them. They've been nice to have. I can march back south. Okay. Divination. Right. Really like raid power from Council League. Be really nice. Alright, they've lost 1.27 million, which is mostly Brombar. It's okay. They're heretics who turned away from Dookan's fight to some red-haired chick. So... you got Party Warrior. Because that's what I want, and then... You know, that's fine. I'll hop in with you like that. Alright. Sorry if there was a cut in the music. I had to pause for a moment to take a phone call. Also, my cat decided to get up from her nap, and now she is going to walk across my desk. So if my audio comes in muffled ever, that's usually because the cat is walking in front of me. I love her, but she can be very annoying sometimes. Also has a habit of biting the phone whenever I talk to people on it, such as, you know, just great. Alright, and then we want to do this, as well as hand over basically as many provinces as they are willing to part with. Alright. Excellent. And now I just want to get these guys here. I am going to wait until those cores are done, then head up. Tartakar is nearly at the end. They're gonna be somewhat more annoying to take land from just because we won't have the ginormous 25% reduction. Never mind, we're gonna have to declare that war ourselves. Alright, so for the Council League, that, and then we want these provinces for them, and we'll hand a bunch of these provinces over to the Lake Fed. We'll actually give them control of the coast. Immediately start pouring. Here, and then here. Then we'll send one. Actually, we'll send this guy here. There is this right there. Alright, so from Avdal Woodman, I don't want the fragments, just to have them. Expedition party. Send the 10,000 men. Organize them. Go ahead and start that. Obviously, we gotta upgrade every single port. We... I think we're over halfway. Alright, so everyone dealt with that. Okay. And I am also going to take Marvel and see if I can set up a Thundercloak there, because that would be funny. So for Marl, that would be acceptable. Alright. Sapphire, Citrine, the Chromium Crown. Okay. That, the lake step can take whatever they want. Try attack. Actually get nationalism on them, shall I? I do. Okay, that makes that a lot better. All right. Excellent. Now we will do... Please just stop trying to fight. It's embarrassing. Hey, Margama, the Province Minor. I'm sure they're gonna help you out a lot, Cardakar. Should... No, it's not actually enough. And for Salathagalorn, of course, they can leave. Don't need to pull up the console menu. Like that. Ooh, I can set up a plunder camp in Marl. I did not know that was possible. Trade power. Nothing actually. These guys can get together. Mushrooms. I left them down there a long time ago. Not great. Okay. Dwarvar. At last. Yeah, I'll go back up for that. And do Religious Unity. this is the one that needs to stay, even though the orcs are actually fairly happy because of, what's it called? National unrest combined with tolerance of true faith. Kinda hoping that this will give me the last gem I need for the crown. Alright. The furthest covenant. The long, straight roads of the largest part of the Serpent Spine connect distant realms like an artery. Trade can flow freely through the dark under our watchful eyes, and our children can learn of the wider world from foreign merchants as they pass through. Let them come witness the new orcish homeland and enrich us all the while. Alright. Kinda would like to convert those ogres over to, no, nothing really. Okay, so these are the last two orcs. Or the last two dwarf provinces I have. Deeper, Mountain of Wealth. That is an obscene level of money. This trade note alone gives us 1,000 ducats nearly. Okay, so let me make sure we're doing everything correctly. Transfer, 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 transfer. There, correct. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, good. Is there anyone else who would like to be my friend? Not really. Because I didn't have enough money already. Fine. Gotta do something with my money. Good riddance. Kill it. The Ruby of Rubyhold. Reforge the Dwarf Kron. Alright. Now that really should piss the dwarves off. These are basically done being looted, so I don't care too much. Right. Beautiful. Full cores on everything. And you know what? Peace. We only control one singular province outside of the Serpent Spine. It's beautiful. Honorable people. Let me improve with the Northern League. I'd like to make them an ally. Kobolds are fine. Everyone who's not a dwarf is welcome. Even elves, because we're one of the only orc nations that realizes that Dookan was an elf. Two provinces left. Prototype tanks, why not? Okay, one province left. Yes, these. Where about how much? $30 development. Okay, that's not bad at all. Development. This one does have a university. So I'll get that done. That one done. It'll get a manufactory eventually. This one. Minus 10% to development. Okay. It's basically just a singular province. Eastern Army, forgot about, like always. Alright. Should basically prevent anyone from ever attacking us again. Even though they're not a great power, apparently. That done. Thesis. Excellent. Now I can hit divination, manipulated fortune. The crusade in the east is done. At last, the age of orcs is here. From here we begin rebuilding forts and widening doors, starting families and baking breads, living and dreaming and living the dream. Maybe someday orcs will march out onto the fields of Rahan and make vassals of the ogres and Haramari, but there is no rush. Right now, we are home. The crusade in the west is done. At last, the age of the dwarf is over. Now is the time for fixing up potholes, drafting contracts, and learning new recipes. Maybe in the coming years, the orcs who grow up here will launch a new green tide and seize the title of Kastan. But that's their own dream to pursue when the time comes. For now, there is peace. Okay. Now we just have to wait a bit over 2 years. And then we will be done. Just for funny. Oh, there's another wall up here. Yeah. We control the world's supply of mithril. And boy, do we put it to good use. RPG, sure. Let's actually check out our tolerance. We're fairly tolerant. We're fine with no, we are orcs. Goblins, trolls, ogres, kobolds are coexist. Hobgoblins are accepted. Half-orcs coexist. Humans are probably the big one that we don't accept. And then Paramari, we also do not accept. Status of all of the holds we plundered. Shazam Dizir is done. Harport Stone is nearly done. Gildir's has a bit to go. Katrimvor actually, it's not looking too terrible. A little surprised we didn't spawn the alignment. Where did it spawn? Dame's Crown. Yeah, that makes sense. What's the Empire up to? Great question. Yep, that seems about right. It's been a while since I've really finished a whole entire campaign. And we also managed to get... Yeah, we'll do this. Basically hit the end. As the events say, but it's like, you know, you can do whatever you want. We basically finished the objective of old Dookan, Islam as a religion. And fulfilled our purpose. Alright. I assure you, with time and investment, these studies will bear fruit. A goblin with thick lensed glasses rifled through the stack of papers and presented one with a complex arcane formula. But the orc overseer simply held up a hand. Gauze, I believe you. I didn't come down for another audit. He held up a bottle of some dark-colored liquor and a pair of cups. We got the grant. Alright, that will not immediately change, but... where is... Dreamforge Transport Network? No idea what the upgrade will do, but we will finally do this. Dookan called to Zog in the dark below Gore Vosenbrung and showed him a vision. It was a vision of fire and blood. It required shattering of bone and annihilation of infestation that had haunted these mountains for 20,000 years. Zog saw what it would cost, and he believed that it would be worth it in the end. Now the crusade has been brought to every cave within the Serpent's Side, from the source of the Allen to the source of the Yon, and has brought us home. This is the dream, and sometimes dreams do come true. Dreams come true. On the walls of Kugildir, Zog Lightwalker stood and looked down in this valley towards Iskan. He stretched in the morning sunlight, shifting the plates of his mithril armor slightly to unbunch his uniform shirt beneath. The captain would be there to oversee the changing of the guard soon, but he'd finally get to go home and go to bed. In the jade mine just outside Gronstonad, Zer Greenfist carefully adjusted a chalk line on a huge slab of precious jade that would become a beautiful statue some weeks from now. He checked his math one more time before setting his tools down and wiping the sweat from his brow. Idly, he munched away on his lunch as he wondered if he'd ever save up enough to have a small statue in his own home. Cresting a dune somewhere south of Akaz-Sur, Grod Mithril Blooms marched along with a regiment of mercenaries. Most of them had been pleasant enough folk, and they appreciated him for his discipline and his skill with the cannon. He had enjoyed the job these last few months, earning a nice sum to send back to his family, but increasingly he missed the echoing halls of home. In Gore Ozenbrung, the great dreamer sat in a comfortable seat overlooking a carved relief of the continent. There were gemstones studding the mountains, one for each hold that had come to be the home of the orcs. A smile crept across the prophet's face as he took in the sight, and then he closed his eyes. A vision appeared through the usual veil of shadows. He waited until he saw it clearly, then opened his eyes to see the map again. Yes, he said with a sigh. Just exactly the same. Thanks for dreaming. Alright. So, with that... we can now go ahead and come here and do Forge Supply Lines, Dreamforge Cannons. Alright. Do a few more things. Defense Guidance, War, and then we want to hit Shock and Awe, and now we will take a look at our modifiers. Alright, land fire damage. 30%. It's a pretty solid amount, really. Discipline is at 23%, also a pretty good amount. Morale damage received is also fairly good in both counts. Alright. Earthseed. Oh, yes, from that. Infantry combat ability is at 20%, which is solid. Manpower and True Faith provinces, 45%. Manpower and Accepted Culture is also 10%. Manpower and Same Culture Group is 10%. Ton of Missionary Strength. Ton of Monthly Splendor. Ton of Movement Speed. And, of course, army recovery. There's the big one, shock damage. And this isn't even the max. If we get lucky and we roll the correct omen, then it's even higher than that. 35% siege ability is also really good. Yes, those are the crazy stats you can get as a magicratic orc. It's kind of obscene. And a lot of that comes from... Let me go back to that menu. Yeah. A lot of that shock damage just comes from basically being a black orc and having access to all the mithril mines. Because that by itself is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. 30%. You won't always get that many, but... Because we do have quite a lot of mithril, but that's basically 30% shock damage for doing nothing. And then you have, you know, war mages and evocation, and then being... old Dookan gives you access to Dookan's guidance, and then you have omens, which can also give you about... I think a 27% shock, which lets you do obscene amounts of damage in the shock phase. And our fire phase is pretty good as well. We can take a look at other things. Alright. Country. Amounts of money. Yep. Yep. Great. Good on pack. No war exhaustion. Max manpower. Obviously enormous. Really good admin efficiency, too. They actually have a really good score. Because we got just a ton from the Age of Witch Kings. We didn't actually do too much in the Age of Unraveling. Religion-wise, yep, Old Dookan is number 2 behind the Regent Court. Obviously, Gore Ozenbrung is going to be the biggest city in the world. Yeah. 500 development. Yeah. So we had Zur, and then Zog, and then we had all of the Adels. Actually, had Zog, then Zur, then all of the Adels. Great projects. Army quality. Morale-wise, number 1. Discipline-wise, not great. Siege ability, not great. Defensiveness, bad. Professionalism, 100%. Tradition, 100%. I actually don't have the largest force limit, because we have a cave troll and then the crusade. But we absolutely wipe the floor with everyone we fight. Don't have a navy. Only 3 million army losses. Grombar and Dahui definitely did not benefit from fighting wars against us. Yeah, we have like over three times the next biggest. And then obviously all Old Dookan, mostly Drakeclaw orcs with Cave Troll, High Hold orcs, Undergrowth Goblin making up the other percentages. Everything is cord. Most of what we have is Serpent Bloom. Aether actually makes 3% of what we produce. Gems, livestock, iron, copper. Not much of a surprise. King's Rock is the biggest node in the world, with Westhold and Mountain Heart being behind it. We have a trading bonus and a bunch of stuff. Most importantly, Mithril. Alright, and now we can take a look around. Umbral Covenant showed up They were actually a satrapy of Keterata for a while. Like, actually a very thematic, yet a Heradia, yet hot hero. Because this is an evil nation. Let's see. Yeah, this is like a half genie, plain Dutch, who, can pause and read this if you would like, but he is kind of like a disaster tag. He's Elmora, evil. Honorable Covenant, evil. Basically the only somewhat decent nation left. And then Keterata under Akahet, which is not good. They're just kind of eh. Other than that, fairly standard. If the command explodes, Dehui Jianxiang tends to take over everything. Baifan Jin, it's always there. Semfrong is fairly common. The Deni Raj, also fairly common, if they don't explode. Everywhere else, big Grombar, you know, minus the fact that I would definitely fight a war just to feed these provinces to the Lake Federation. Northern League, kind of beating out Loren. Actually, they are beating out Loren. Which is fun. Bildazan managed to stay until the late game. My favorite. Malaknar has managed to take over the Yin, which is great. Didn't actually manage to reform everything, though. In terms of culture, the Yinsman had a terrible game. Like, this is the worst I've ever seen Yinsman culture look. The Apednar never managed to do their thing. We have, I believe this is Jimrikurt. Jimredkurt formed Airdan, which is, if any of the Winter Court nations do it, it's usually them. Although pretty often you'll still see it split up. Malaknar is going crazy. I got rid of Inyasa, South Aelantir, and South Zarhal just so I could, you know, play the game at a reasonable place. Gongji still exists, which is fun. Can I see which nation is it? Oh, the traders. There we are. Other than that, religiously, nothing too interesting. Now, if we flip Mystic Chord, which actually is not uncommon either. New Sun Cold. The dwarves did manage to migrate outside of the Serpent Spine, which is cool. Because clearly they're probably never coming back. Given a dream fulfilled. Makes it impossible for anyone to really convert those provinces. Yeah, Empire exploded because they actually got reforms done. Rebellion took over. Right, I think that's about it. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this campaign, and have a good day.